The West Hartford Police Department is about 135 sworn police officers. That's from the chief all the way down to the most junior officer. We have three main divisions. We have police cars that are in full uniform, and that's the backbone of this or any police department. That's the main service we provide. Support services in this department is made up of our traffic division officers. Support services is also made up of the training division, which is the room we're sitting in now. So we have a lieutenant and two officers that are assigned to make sure that officers keep their certifications up, any state licensures that they need, and make sure that they get the reoccurring training that they need. Our investigative services is traditionally more what you think of as a detective division. We have about 12 or 13 detectives here that specialize in anything from frauds all the way up to murders and everything in between. We have a couple of detectives that specialize in youth services, youth crime, and we have a special investigations division which handles any narcotics cases, prostitution, gambling. They do also our internal affairs complaints. If an officer makes a mistake, they will investigate that. And they also do our hiring. So anybody that comes into the department, we do a very thorough background check. We have two police dogs, both German Shepherds. Each one of them has an officer who is responsible for them. They're trained for narcotics detections. They can also sniff people out. So if we have a suspect that's run into the woods, hopefully we can use the dog's sense of smell to find that suspect. We also have an emergency services unit here in West Hartford, which is more commonly referred to as the SWAT team. I believe it's almost 20 members strong. They train once a month. We have officers that specialize on that team in being a sniper. It's not a full-time SWAT team, so they mobilize as needed. We're getting a lot of younger folks who are interested in law enforcement who want to be simply detectives. In order to do that in any police department, you need to start out as a police officer first. In West Hartford, becoming a detective is a promoted position. You actually have to take a test, and if you're promoted, it's your job for as long as you want it. Certainly we send our officers to specialized schools to become a detective. There's basic crime scene schools, intermediate, advanced. If somebody really wants to be a detective or anything, any specialized division, they really need to demonstrate that they're a good police officer first. As a detective, you have to get used to the fact that you're not going to solve every case every day, and you're going to start to have cases that start to pile up. And that's a challenge for some people. There's a tremendous amount of downtime as a police officer. So you're out there by yourself in a car for 8 hours, and there could be times when that could seem a little boring. The problem with that is that within a matter of seconds you could be involved in a chase or a shooting. So you go from absolute boredom to sheer terror in a matter of seconds. So even though they're sitting idle, they may have prevented a crime. Is that they're going to be away from their family, they're going to be away from home. There's going to be some nights when you're not preparing to stay and somebody calls in sick and you get forced to stay for the second shift. We have the right to do that. If there was a burglary or a robbery, the detectives will go in, they'll check the entire premises for fingerprints, they'll see if there's any DNA that a suspect left behind. If someone has committed a crime and we determine that we're not sure if they're going to go to court or not, and we set a bond on them, if they can't pay that bond, then they have to actually sit in our holding facility. Police work in general is really a two-way street. The public wants to know that they're safe, that they can sleep well at night knowing that there are people out there that are protecting them. But we also need the community to be our eyes and ears when we can't be there. But we are at a crossroads right now in law enforcement. There's a lot of mistrust of law enforcement, so we're trying to get our officers more involved in the community to let them know why we're here and what it is we're trying to do. It's really a combination of those two working together all the time to make sure that people that want to do harm or want to commit crimes know that if you come to West Hartford, they have very well-trained officers, and if they don't see us, there's a lot of community members that are going to pick up the phone at 3 in the morning because they heard a dog bark and they looked outside and saw somebody in their backyard that they're going to call. So it's really that partnership, and when you do that, then you end up with a safe community. I think one thing I'd like people to understand about police work in general is that there's 750,000 plus or minus police officers in this country. Are there officers out there that are a little more aggressive than others? Yes, but the majority of us want to go home at night, and when our family asks us how our day was, we say it was boring, nothing happened. Because if that's the case, that means we're doing our job. People know that they can't break laws, and it means that nobody's getting hurt, nobody's getting robbed. That's what an officer wants at the end of the day. So when you see things in the media, you hear people talking about officers and what jerks they are. We just want everybody to follow the rules. If we ask you to do something, please do it. We wouldn't have to use force at all if I said to somebody, get on the ground, and they got on the ground. The majority of police officers, they just want to go out there and make sure that people are safe and that they're protected. And we do a lot to train them to that mission. But that's been always one of my missions, is to do that myself and to get others to do that too, to really get out and connect with people on a personal level so they understand that we're human beings and we care about people.